So as some of you may know, during the Christmas period, me and my family have been watching these old tapes, which my mum got transferred onto DVD. And they're just basically stuff that we recorded during 2005, 2006 when we had this camcorder. And one of the DVDs shows my Year 6 leaving mass. And one of the first things my mum said was, "You don't look very happy." And then the next thing that comes on is this song from my Year 6 school play, and we sort of perform that in front of the whole congregation. And because it's sort of like a nice sweet song, a lot of the people in my class began to sort of sway and sort of put their arms around each other as like this was a really sad moment. And my mum said, "Why aren't you swaying and everything?" And my honest answer to that is that, you know, nobody really liked me there. You know, I wasn't really that liked, so yeah, I would be distancing myself because, you know, I didn't really feel a part of this class. And in this video, I kind of just want to explain what it was like for me as a child. Yeah, primary school. So basically I was this like young, shy guy who was really into Doctor Who and nobody else was. It was so unpopular. Nobody liked it. And that was me, this sort of shy guy who was a bit weird, you know, really good, a really good boy, was a bit of a nerd, got on with his work, didn't go out, you know, just did homework, that sort of thing. And I remember a lot of break times I was alone. I would just, so there was this wall, we had this wall in the corner which was sort of like goes up in a little ramp and then it goes this way. And I remember a lot of the time, I have lots of memories of just walking up and down that alone and sort of pretending it was like a spaceship and things, and just being on my own, and everybody else would be doing their own thing and I would just be doing that. And I remember other times just like sitting by the fence and just sitting there on my own. A lot of my time in primary school I think I must have suppressed because I can't really remember much about it. But it was lonely. For some reason people just didn't like my family, or perhaps they just didn't like me. But you know, we had incidences where people threw bricks through the window because they just didn't like us. And also there were times when people threw tissue mixed up with toothpaste and water and made into these sort of big balls and thrown at the window. That happened several times because people just didn't like us. When I got to secondary school, I really hoped that it would be a time where I could start all over again and just make new friends and just wipe everything away and just like make new friends. That's what I wanted to do. And I think it was better because I did make sort of friends, more than I had in primary school. And I think, yeah, people cared for me more in secondary school. Maybe it's because they were more grown up. But I felt a stronger closeness to the people in secondary school than I did in primary school. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about my time in primary school because I can't really remember much about it. Maybe it's because I don't want to remember about it. But yeah, there were times when I felt like I was a target and you know, people would just have this sort of pleasure from tormenting me and everything. And it actually got to a point, I remember, when the teacher had to step in and she was like, you know, all you people are just picking on him so much. And you know, and then I remember afterwards people coming up to me and said, "Well, I haven't upset you, have I?" And things like that. And me being me, I just said, "Oh, no. But you know, it was them. And people were just very nasty and bitter, I think. And then all this sad time in primary school, the pinnacle moment is when I get cast in my Year 6 school play as a fucking extra. You know, that kind of just speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know, this was how sad and lonely I am. Everybody else gets a part in the play and I get a fucking extra. I get to play the part, but I am the replacement for someone who's not even a big part. If he's ill, I step in. He wasn't even a big part. You know, that's how utterly stupid it was. I don't want to say that they were all horrible. There were some people, I have great respect for one person, and if they're watching, you know, they know who they are. But there was one person who I have great admiration for, and to this day I still do, because he defended me against these bullies, and he stood up for me, and he was, you know, so wonderful. Because whenever I couldn't really defend myself because I was this person, he would step in and he was like, you know, don't treat Grant like that. You know, he's a person, as the rest of us are, you know. And so I do have great admiration for him. I remember this one time when I was coming home from school and I was going up the hill and these two people were taunting me, and I remember throwing a rock, but being totally crap at sports, it didn't hit them because I was aiming this rock at them and it missed, and they were just laughing because I missed, and it was really dark. Then I went home and I remember just going to the bathroom in tears, and my dad came up to me and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "It's just such shit. It's such a shit life." And in that moment I could have probably just killed myself because it was so sad. This pitiful, crappy life. And people just hadn't that such hatred for you. And you know, that they would want to torment you to a point where you just feel like this is crap, I don't want to go on anymore. It's just that bad. That bad. That was probably one of the worst bits for me, actually. But as I say, when we got to secondary school, things were a lot better. I can say that I liked the people in my class. I really liked them. They were nice people. So, you know, that was always very good. But that didn't stop me from being lonely. I don't know whether it was my anxiety that just kept putting these thoughts in my head. Oh my god, people are watching you, and they're like, oh look at this guy just walking alone. But you know, there were a lot of times when I was just on my own, and I'd look like a complete div because I'd just be standing alone. The thing was that everybody wanted to play football in break time, but I don't like football. So my only friend, who usually stood with me at break times, would go and play football, and so then I'd be standing there all alone, looking stupid. And I'd be lonely, and then I wouldn't really want to do that. So I think eventually I went to the library a lot in break times just to be away from everything and things. So I'd read books and things and be away. But but I think in the early years of secondary school, I used to just walk corridors in break times, just do that. I don't know why the hell I did that, but I used to do things like that and just to pass the time, because I think with school I just want to get over with. You know, I want to get to 3 o'clock, go home, and do something else, be away from it all, you know. But I did some crazy shit in secondary school, stuff that I'm so embarrassed about. Like, for example, when the register used to be called, we used to shout stuff out, like, because other people were doing it, but I think I took it to the extremes. Like, for example, nobody could really pronounce Raxacoricophallopatoris, so when the register was called, I used to shout things out like, Raxacoricophallopatoris, and crazy shit like that. I don't know what the hell I was on, but, you know. And I think the real changing point for me was when I had cancer, because there were times before, just leading up to me being diagnosed with it and going away for a long time, people were a bit cruel. You know, I remember this time when I made this thing in design and technology class, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is like so stupid." And then I came back and everyone was like, "Oh Grant, we love you," and I think I don't know whether that was because of my videos and people got a better opinion of me because of my videos, or whether it was because I had cancer and people felt sorry for me. But things definitely changed. People acted differently towards me, and I don't know why that was. And I have, as I said, I have regrets. You know, because if I was a bit more confident, and I know the sort of people I would want to hang around with, because they were into that sort of different thing, and they would have tolerated me because I was a bit different, weird and strange. So yeah, I have regrets there. If only I'd been a bit more confident and a bit more talkative to people. I remember on the first day of secondary school, I was so keen to make friends that, you know, the first person I sat down to next to, I was really talkative to him, and I was like, you know, this is a person, Grant. Make friends, make the connection. And I really put a lot of effort into, you know, talking to this person because I wanted it to be different. I didn't want it to be the same where people just took the piss out of me and I was this person that people just hated for some reason. I wanted it to be different. I wanted to clean the slate clean and you know, be popular and be talked to people and have friends. I've never experienced friends before. What are friends? Don't know what they are. Throughout the whole of primary school, I really only had one friend. When I think back on it, I think primary school is something I don't want to remember. I didn't like it. I was lonely. I was sad, unliked, bullied. So I always think that's the dark one. Secondary school, I had happy times. I had happy memories. I had laughs. I had friends. But but I think there's still a slight dislike of it, because there were times when I just didn't know what to do. I'd like be on my own, and someone actually called me up on it once, and they said, Grant, I see you in all these videos, and you're really upbeat and positive, and then when I see you at school, you're just on your own all the time. And I didn't know how to respond to that, really, because I don't mind telling you now that I was a lonely child, because I don't care. You think what you want about that, but I can't help it that I don't have friends. I can't help it that people don't like me. That's just how it is. What can I do about it? I can try and talk to people. I do try and talk to people. When new people come at work, I try and make friends with them, because you have to work with these people, and you have to get on with them. But there's also the aspect that I just want to have friends. I just want to have people who can say, yeah, I can't wait to see Grant. Grant's a really interesting, wonderful person. But in reality, I think most people think, oh my God, Grant's a terribly boring person. But at work, you are there to work. So that's what I think, when I'm at work, I'm concentrating on working and doing a good job and being a member of this company, that people can say, yeah, he's a good asset to this company, because he does his job and he gets things done. And I do try and communicate at work. It's not easy though. I think a lot of people judge me because I have these problems with communication, and I don't think people really understand it. But that's what it is, and it's not that I don't want to talk to people, or it's that I get all tense and everything. But I just have trouble with it. It's like any other disorder. It's like any other disorder that you can think of. It's just like that. It's just something that I have a difficulty with, and that's why probably I was so unpopular. But there it is, all out there. I think on those times, and I think yeah, they were bad, and I'm happy that I've done stuff to make me a different person, so that I'm more likeable. But now I've got a lovely flat to live in. I've got a beautiful husband. I've got a lovely cat, and so it ain't all bad.